Hello everybody, welcome back to English Champion. On this episode, I want to go over a short article that I saw recently that I thought really typified what is going on in the whole social media space, even in places that are not intended to be just social media, but publishing platforms. And there's a lot of problems with how the entire system is set up. And I actually wanted to make a video about this regarding YouTube back in the summer. And I kind of just let my anger dissipate and forgot about it. But then on another platform, in fact, right here on Substack, I saw something very similar, and I thought, okay, I kind of need to address this because it really affects what we think of regarding creativity, productivity, and just making valuable contributions to the culture in these online platforms. And what social media does, or any publishing platform is doing, is really undermining what the purpose should actually be. And so I wanted to show you this article. I'm going to include the link below. This was right here on Substack, and so I thought I would share it with you very quickly. So the reason that I saw it, as all things on social media, is that the title was very eye-catching. And so it said, "I examined Substack like a scientist for 30 days, and now I know the secret to explosive growth." And then the little subtitle, which is also very interesting, says, "I haven't used it though, and you won't either." So it's very provocative. This lady says she claims to have figured out the game. She's cracked the code of how to get subscribers, how to grow your in this case, Substack. If it's YouTube, your subscribers to your videos, whatever it is. And then she adds, "But you probably won't do it." So what is it that is so important that almost none of us will do? Well, she gives several key pieces of advice. And she says, number one, first of all, she says, publish every day. She goes, "I know it sounds crazy to me too, but I've watched a newcomer who joined Substack when I did barely 2 months ago explode like the 4th of July. I keep seeing notes about being new here and trying to figure things out. Yet every time I checked her profile, she had hundreds more subscribers than the last time I had looked. She was clearly prolific because she was always in my feed, but I didn't realize how prolific until I took the time to count her posts. That's when I discovered she had written 29 posts in the past 30 days. And amazingly, in less than 2 months, she'd gone from 0 to over 1,000 subscribers." So there's the first part. Publish every single day. So this is common on YouTube, and I would guess Instagram, Twitter. They're all the same, where the constant advice is you need to be on it every single day. You need to be writing something, making something, posting something every single day. And I understand why you would want to do that. And it's because the reason for it is the algorithm incentivizes it. The algorithms, the people who run these things, they want more and more content. So therefore, they encourage you to make more content for them. The problem, of course, is that, yeah, but what are you doing that's quality? If you're just on it making stuff, then are you actually putting anything good out into the world? Or are you just contributing to the algorithm because, oh, look at me, I'm on it every day? So I'm not saying this doesn't work. Obviously, if she's looked into it, it certainly works to a certain degree for certain people. Again, I think it depends on what you're putting up there, but that's the goal. Instead, the goal should be, yeah, I may not publish every day, but what I do publish is going to be very good. And so we have everything backwards. We have the quantity over quality mindset on all of these social media platforms. Again, it's the same thing on YouTube. When you hear video people saying, you need to put out a video every day or at least, 5 times a week out of 7 days. It's like, yeah, but what are you putting out there exactly? Is it good? Is it high quality? Are the ideas you're expressing worth people listening to them? The notion of consistency, while certainly valuable, is more heavily weighted on these platforms than is quality. They just want more, and that doesn't seem like a good path to go down. So publish every day. Again, I'm not saying she's wrong. She's probably right. But this is what these platforms incentivize. They don't incentivize quality. They just incentivize quantity. So what else does she say? Use notes with reckless abandon. So on Substack, of course, notes are sort of like Twitter feeds. It's the place where you add little comments and you can have dialogues with people. And this is how she says it. She says, use them like it's the last day of a year-long silent retreat and your best friend just called. Like, spill everything out. She says, use them like every thought you have throughout the entire day is worth sharing. I've seen it said that 2 to 3 notes per day is the sweet spot. Every thought you have throughout the entire day is worth sharing? No, it's not. It is definitely not worth sharing. All right. This is what I constantly had to talk to my students about over the years I've been a professor is you shouldn't write how you think. You shouldn't just say the things that pop into your head. When we write things, we want to write things that are really valuable, that you've perhaps thought about for a long time, that you've studied and analyzed and have evidence for, and you know the nuances about. It's not just every single thought I have, put it on my paper, or put it in my Twitter feed, or put it on a Substack post. No. So again, we're back to the idea of quantity, and it's not just in the articles that she's talking about, but also in the notes with the little, the feeds that we're part of. Like every single thought I have throughout the day, if I did that, people would be shocked and horrified of what I'm thinking about during the day, because most of the time it's like, I can't believe how stupid those people are. What are we doing in this area? Why do people do that? It's just venting and trying to process my frustration with the world. That's not necessarily good to put out into the world. You don't make a lot of friends and get a lot accomplished by just, letting every single thought you have come out. Most of being a good person is being able to censor yourself and be somewhat tactful while still being honest and not putting out every single thought you have. So when she says, use your feed as if every thought you have throughout the entire day is worth sharing. No, it's not worth sharing. Editing yourself, revising yourself, throwing away your bad ideas, that's actually the key to being a good writer. And this is the exact wrong incentive. Now, what's funny is she knows this, and so she adds, I'm not encouraging putting drivel out into the world. Please don't put drivel out into the world. But unless, and possibly even if, you're a rarefied genius, 70% of your notes will be drivel anyway. Don't worry about this. Perfection is not the point. More notes are the point. So why are we living in a world where more is somehow better? It's not. More just means more junk. What we want is good quality stuff and less junk. This advice is the exact opposite of that. Again, she's hedging and she knows that much of what will happen is not good. But as her next sentence says, this is what works. If you want to favor the Substack gods, you must play the game. So again, it's every platform. It's YouTube gods, the Twitter gods, the Instagram gods, whatever platform you're talking about. It's all the same. It doesn't matter what you put out. They just want more. And so she even acknowledges, yeah, most of what you're going to do is drivel, but it doesn't matter. Put it out anyway. Again, this is the exact wrong advice, and this goes against everything that we teach students in a school situation, where we constantly talk about, you brainstorm so that then you get rid of all the bad ideas and focus on the good ones, and then you work on those good ones for a really long time, and then finally you hand it in, or you click send, or you click publish, or whatever the final action is. But there's a long process of sifting out all your garbage to focus on the good stuff, because we want to put quality out into the world. And this is the exact opposite. So this is why social media is so frustrating, or these publishing platforms are frustrating, is because they go against everything that's correct in creativity and production. It's like if you work at a factory and 70% of the widgets you make are deformed and broken and unusable. And the factory owner is going, doesn't matter. Get them on the conveyor belt. Churn them out. We got to put more widgets into the world. And if 30% of those widgets are good, that's enough. It's like, no, how about you make good widgets? How about you throw out the ones that are broken and you make good ones, and those are the ones you send to the store and sell them? Why are we making bad stuff and then sharing it with the world? That makes no sense to me. And yet that's how all these platforms are run. Because again, it's quantity, not quality. She sort of adds on to this. write well, but don't overthink it. She says, it goes without saying that to grow on these platforms, you must write well. And the person she was referring to before apparently is an excellent writer. So she's assuming that that's probably what is helping her grow. But she says, but her rapid cadence also suggests that, unlike me, she doesn't waffle for weeks over hitting the publish button. Far too many sensitive artists polish their work to perfection instead of simply starting ugly and putting in the reps. Everyone on this platform who's killing it is engaged in the same ceaseless motions. Show up, hit publish, repeat. And again, so she's sort of undercutting her own advice here, where her main point from the beginning was, you've got to do more. Just put stuff out, put stuff out. And that's sort of where she comes back to. But then she also said, well, you also have to try to do good work. It's like, well, which is it? Do good work or put out crap? Because if the goal is to rush to publish every single day, you're inevitably going to put out the crap. So you're kind of trying to have it both ways, and she recognizes that. But from an advice standpoint, that's not very helpful because in one instance you're telling me you got to write really well. If you want to grow, you got to write well. And then in the very next sentence you're saying, yeah, but it doesn't matter if you write well, just put it out every day. Just, your drafts are just as good as your final product. So just get it out there. That doesn't help. So again, this is the opposite of how teachers and everyone else who's involved in the creativity and production world, it's, no, you need to refine your product before you go to share it with the world. You can write things and bounce ideas off people. If you have a peer group that you want to show your first drafts to, that's great. But publishing things for all to see on YouTube or Substack or anywhere else, when they're not ready to be seen, that's probably not good. Another piece of advice she says is that a lot of people just don't do enough kind of promotion. They aren't visible enough. They aren't kind of mingling in these spaces, these feeds where they might get seen more often. And she offers, again, this very dangerous piece of advice. She says, do something, anything, in italics, anything in the name of growing your audience on a consistent basis that works for your life. Or don't, and understand that nothing will happen until you do. So the idea of do anything to grow is really, really dangerous advice, all right? This is how anyone, but especially young girls, seems to be the predominant case, get themselves into big trouble online because they're following your advice. Do anything to grow your audience. What exactly does anything mean? Does it mean sacrificing your morals? Does it mean compromising your values? Does it mean acting in a way that is not appropriate? Does it mean saying things that could get you in some trouble? Does it mean acting in a way or writing in a way that isn't you, that's inauthentic? It's you're being fake and you're just creating a persona to try to grow your audience. When you say do something, anything to grow, yeah, again, I'm not disagreeing with you. I understand that's how the game works. And if that's all people care about is growth, then yeah, there's a million ways to do that. These are some of those options. But when we start defaulting to the idea that is the main goal, that growth is everything, well, that can lead you down a very dangerous path. And again, you can start behaving in ways that certainly get likes, certainly get clicks, certainly get subscribers, but might not be, again, particularly appropriate or just what's best for what you're trying to accomplish. So I would be very careful of following this advice. Now, as I said, this is about Substack specifically, but I had thought about this on YouTube this summer as well, because I was, I make videos that no one watches, and I was wondering, like, what else could I be doing? How do I get my stuff to more people? And I came across this one guy who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers and followers and gives advice just like this, and offered some of the same specific pieces of advice, like, try to post a video every day, try to interact in the comment sections of other videos, promote, use Twitter to promote your videos, and use Twitter to drive people to Instagram, where you have little clips, and then those will drive them to YouTube, where you have longer clips. And it's just like this nightmare of reposting in 1,000 different places. It just sounds all so stupid to me. But again, it's all about just the quantity of just making stuff or participating in stuff without any regard for quality. Um, that just drives me crazy. But something else he offered was, he was saying, try to reach out to people who have big followings. And, well, at first, before you even reach out to them, try and copy them. If you see that they do things in their videos, try and emulate their style. If they have certain titles, if they have certain graphics, if they have certain lighting or camera angles, like, do what they do. And that should help people recognize that you're doing things that other people do that works for them. And so I thought, okay, so copy other people, right? In this world where everyone is trying to keep it real and be authentic and be yourself and be genuine, it's like, oh, our first tip is go copy other people. Got it. All right. So then his tip after that was, once you find those people you really like or that you see have a lot of followers, try to connect with them, comment on their posts, reach out to them and say, hey, I have a podcast or I'm making a video. Would you like to be a voice in it? Would you like me to, can I interview you? Would you add a comment on my video? And again, it's sort of like the worst parts of high school, right? Where, okay, so you have popular kids and not popular kids. And your first piece of advice is, well, copy what the popular kids are doing. Doesn't matter if that's not how you want to do it, if that's not your style, or if that's not what you believe in. If you want to be a popular kid, copy what they do. Just wear what they wear, talk like they talk, and you can try and be popular too. And then once you're doing that, also you should try and go talk to them and see if they'll include you in their group, so that you now be part of the popular group, and you can have as many friends and dates and be invited to as many parties as they are. And I just thought, again, back to the authentic thing, like, are you really telling us to try to suck up to other people? Is that what we're doing? That our big goal is to just try and get in with the cool kids? Because again, on online platforms, popularity and followers and subscribers are the key currency. That's what matters the most. It's not, hey, are you a good person? Hey, do you have interesting ideas? Hey, are you really smart and sharing again, useful ideas and knowledge with the world? No, it's, hey, how can you fit in with the cool kids? And it's just very frustrating. And so I constantly think that many of these platforms and the whole online space, particularly regarding interactive spaces like social media, are really like the worst parts of high school. That whenever you talk to people, they're like, oh, I hated high school. I hated how fake everyone was. I hated that I couldn't get a date. I hated that guy got all the girls. I hated that I never got invited to the parties, or whatever people complain about when they were 16 and had pimples and, were skinny and had bad haircuts and didn't have fashionable clothes and all the things that we all go through when we're in high school. And yet, that's exactly what all of social media is. It's act like other people, do stuff that you may not even really value or believe in or care about, but just do stuff for the sake of doing stuff. And then hopefully enough cool people will like you that then you'll be in that group and you can start to grow. And it just sounds so depressing that it's kind of like, again, if you remember from high school, there might be some kids who were not very cool kids, but they were always doing sort of maybe outrageous things. They might do something elaborate to impress a girl that's way out of their league, or do something that's sort of like showing off in front of a large group of people. And you're like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you acting like that? You're being a weirdo. You're doing it to just get attention. You're doing it to have people laugh and hope, maybe they think you're cool because you're so risky and daring and provocative and these kinds of things. But we can all tell you're just sucking up to people and trying to look cool without actually adding anything of value to the environment. And so, yeah, it's just, why are we all trying to act like 16-year-olds? It's dumb. So I don't have any followers. I have very few people who subscribe to my stuff. And, as long as I am bringing something satisfactory to them that they feel is useful and valuable to their lives, great. I'm trying to help those people when I can. but I'm not going to just make stuff to make stuff. When she said, do anything, well, I'm not doing that, because that leads to me not taking myself seriously, in my case, as a scholar, as a professional, writer, teacher, all the things that I do. And I'm not just going to suck up to people to get them to follow me. So I hope, not to paint too bleak of an image, but that's kind of how I feel about all of this. I'm going to keep writing. I want my audience to know that every Monday and every Thursday, Matt's going to be there because he has something useful to offer. He doesn't just pop into my email inbox or on my subscriber feed because he's going to say something random that day that, he's just being consistent. He's posting every day. He's making a video every day, but it ends up being, as she said, 70% of it is nonsense. Well, I don't want my audience thinking like that. I want my audience opening up their email or seeing their subscriber feed, knowing that every time I say something, hopefully it's useful and valuable. And I'm not wasting their time by having them click open something and them going, oh, this is just one of those posts that clearly he was just doing it to do his once a day quota to be consistent. This really wasn't a useful post. Because how many days of those until your subscribers or followers go, yeah, boy, I get something good every once in a while, but it's like once a week. The other 6 days that he sends me something is really pointless, and it wastes my time because I have to open it and then I look at it because I think maybe this time it'll be something good, and it's not. It's the drivel that she talked about. And now I've just annoyed that person, and now they unsubscribe because they're like, yeah, you were offering me good stuff, but only once a week, and the other 6 days was nonsense. I'd rather you actually just send me something once a week and have that once a week thing be really, really valuable. So that's what I do. Mondays and Thursdays, I post stuff, and I never write things that I think are frivolous or stupid, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste your time. So take this lady's advice, take the YouTuber's advice if you want, but I still believe that if you just work hard, put quality things into the world, whether it's art, whether it's commentary on a really important subject, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, make it really good. And I think people will appreciate it, even if it's not that many people, like in my case. So, again, thank you for those who keep watching. I'm always here, and you'll see me again on Monday. See you then.